Our next guest tonight is two guests tonight. Joining us now from our D.C. Bureau, Democratic strategist Steve McMahon, and joining us from San Diego, the former press secretary for George W. Bush's 2000 presidential campaign, Republican communications strategist Mindy Tucker Fletcher. The video you're seeing now is from a tour she gave to C-SPAN of the Bush headquarters in Austin, Texas. Here's a quick flashback from a simpler, more Texas time.
We're pretty high-tech here, we like to think. We've got our own television studio, and this is sort of the brains of that operation where they can feed video and audio from here. They monitor the room next door, which is the studio, which I'll show you. But this is sort of the technical aspect of that, where they keep track of our own television and audio needs.
Monitoring of Twitter in that campaign, as far as I can recall. Mindy Tucker Fletcher, Steve McMahon, thank you both for joining us. Mindy, start with you. I want to ask you a version of the question I asked Stuart Stevens and Mary Madeline, which is, what's something you wonder about Hillary Clinton?
You know, the thing I've been wondering about Hillary Clinton for a long time is who she has around her to help her articulate her voice. I think she's smart, she's intelligent, she seems to be funny at times. I don't know that she's found that right staff person that really enables her to be the best her, and I think that's probably been holding her back for a long time. It's a question I wanted to ask somebody with some insight into her team.
Steve McMahon, either answer that question if you know the answer, or answer mine, which is, what's something you wonder about her?
Well, first I'll answer your question. I mean, I think she has a number of people around her, including Joel Benenson, who's one of the best strategists in the party, and John Podesta, of course, who we all know, and there are many others. What do I wonder about her? You know, I wonder if she is frustrated when Donald Trump is speaking to people's emotions, and she's having to be really the reasonable, rational, calm, deliberate leader that a president has to be. I mean, Donald Trump isn't running as a president. He's running as a carnival show, and she's, I think, trying to project and demonstrate steady, solid leadership. And you know, sometimes people, there's a saying in our business that they'll quickly forget what you told them, but they'll long remember how you made them feel. Donald Trump understands that and is making people feel something that I think is probably frustrating at some level for the Clinton campaign.
Steve, let me ask you a question right out of the headlines today. Bill Clinton, Loretta Lynch, politically, how big a mistake, or if a mistake at all, for Bill Clinton to seek that meeting, and how big a mistake politically for Loretta Lynch to accept Mr. Clinton, President Clinton, to come on her plane?
Well, I think it was a mistake. I think it was a mistake for both of them. I'm kind of surprised at the judgment that was exercised in that case. But I'm sure nothing inappropriate happened. But I'm also sure that, you know, the way it looks to a lot of people who suspect these things and the conspiracy theorists is not good. And there's just no getting around that.
Mindy, what do you think about that? Just to give her under a judgment there.
Yeah, you know, it just plays into the narrative. People are already pretty distrustful of him, given his background. They tend to be distrustful of her, just given what she's been shrouded with over the past few months. And it was a really dumb move. I think it showed a tin ear on someone's part. Even if nothing happened, everyone's going to think something happened. And so it was just a really dumb move. And on a campaign like this, running against the person they're running against at this level, they're all going to have to be smarter than that.
Do you think it will matter a few months from now, or will this be forgotten, as we asked earlier in the show?
You know, no one thing really matters that much, but if you play into a narrative over and over and over again, that does start to matter. So they have to be careful. They can't do things like this again.
Mindy, you were involved in national politics at a pretty high level, and now you've been out in California mostly doing politics there. Tell everybody what you think of Donald Trump being the nominee of the Republican Party.
You know what's fascinating is here in California over the past few years, we've already gone through sort of a Trump-like change. The party sort of has imploded. If you look at the top of our ticket, we've got a Senate race that's should be competitive. We have no one really running that's competitive. And it was a Trump-like mentality that sort of created that. So it's really interesting to me from this vantage point to watch it now happen at the national level. I think it's a fight for the soul of our party. I think the people who go along to get along are being very dangerous and entering into something that they don't quite realize what they're entering into, and the ramifications of which will be be terrible. I think he's a terrible nominee. He doesn't represent the best of our party. And, you know, for me personally, I find myself at home not allowing my children to watch him give speeches. And that is such a fundamental problem with our nominee. It speaks to things way bigger than party. Just concerns that any normal mom sitting at home on their couch would have about this person who wants to be president.
Steve, I know you wanted to answer the question before about whether the Loretta Lynch, Bill Clinton thing would matter, but so you could answer that question, but also answer this. In your view, is there anything that could happen between now and over the next few months in the email-related controversy that would have a substantially significant political impact on Hillary Clinton? Negative, obviously.
Okay, so for the first question, I don't think that the meeting ultimately will have any impact on the campaign. I think Mindy's right that, you know, it does sort of feed a narrative of the critics, and that's unfortunate, but I'm sure nothing inappropriate happened there. It probably shouldn't have happened, though, in any event. As to whether or not anything will happen on the email thing, I don't see anything developing, and as you get closer to the convention and to a nomination, I think it becomes less and less likely that anything will develop that will be meaningful and significant. Look, this investigation's been going on for an awfully long time. There are many, many, many FBI agents involved, if you believe everything that's been leaked. And yet they don't seem to have anything. So I don't think there's anything there. And if they did have something, my guess is, given what I know about the rules for, you know, proceeding in political cases where there's a campaign going on, if they had something, they almost certainly would have done something much sooner than now.
Mindy, just go back to what I think you said about Donald Trump. Would your preference be that no one in the Republican Party, no member of Congress, no governor endorse him?
Oh, that would be great, because that would lead to, I think, what I hope is coming, which is a larger conversation inside the party about what the heck do we do headed into September? What do we do headed into convention?
Who do you plan to vote for if it's Clinton and Trump on the ballot?
Well, you know, the conversation going on here in California, usually it's, wow, my vote doesn't count because I'm in California and Democrats always win. Now everybody's relieved. It doesn't matter how I vote because Hillary will win California. And everybody's sort of relieved about that this year because nobody knows what to do. Republicans don't know what to do. They're very frustrated. They don't necessarily want Hillary Clinton, but they certainly don't want Donald Trump. It's a horrible place to be.
Who are you going to vote for?
I'm hoping for a dust-up at convention.
Okay.
I don't have to decide till November. Okay. I'm hoping for a better choice.
Deus ex machina.
Yeah. Okay, Mindy Tucker Fletcher, thank you. Out in California, Steve McMahon in Washington, thank you both. Great to talk to you.
Thank you.
We'll have more right after this.